everyone, it's Mr. Han here. Here are, I guess not notes, but here's an assignment that you will be working on. So this first one is going to be focusing on improper fractions and mixed numbers and converting between the two of them. The second one will be practicing plotting coordinate points. And so this, you could kind of tell what it will be at the end, but I'll go over this in just a second. So first thing I'm going to do is talk about converting from improper to mixed numbers, and then converting mixed numbers to improper fractions. And so if you could look here, S 9 out of 4 is a fraction, and it's an improper fraction because the number on the top is bigger than the denominator. So the numerator is bigger than the denominator. A mixed number is going to be a whole number where there's a whole number and a fraction. So this is saying like 2 and 2/3. So if I were to talk about cookies or brownies, I'm saying 2 whole brownies and then 2/3 of a third one, right? It's not 3, right? But it's also more than 2. And so it's a number that's in between. Here, 9 out of 4 can actually be, it's considered an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So here we're going to see that 9 is bigger than 4, which means that this is actually more than 1. And so we're going to try to make this into one of these where it's a mixed number where there's a whole number and a fraction. All right. So in order to do that, all we need to do is take our numerator and divide by our denominator. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take 9 and divide by 4. I end up with 2 because 4 goes into 9 2 times. I subtract 8. I get remainder 1. And so the answer here is 2 whole and 1 out of 4. Okay. To illustrate this, I'm just going to take 9/4 and talk about that really quick. I'm going to take, let's say, a chocolate bar, and I'm going to cut it into fourths. Okay. And so this is 1 chocolate bar, and there's 4 pieces. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. Okay. And so out of 4, right, when they're broken up into 4 equal parts, I want 9 of those. Well, I don't have enough with 1 chocolate bar, and so I'm going to need to create a second chocolate bar, right, and break that up into fourths, and then there's 5 6 7 8, and there's still not enough. And so what I'm going to need to do is create a third chocolate bar, break it into fourths, and then now I have almost 3, right? But I only need 9. And so here you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this gets us 2 whole chocolate bars and 1 out of the 4. Okay, and so that's where these numbers are coming in. Mathematically, we could just divide because when we look at fractions, it's another way of talking about division. And so we'll go ahead and just slide this all over here. Okay, this is just an illustration for you. This is how we can solve mathematically, but this is our answer, 2 and 1/4. Okay, and so here I'll just do it mathematically. I'm not going to draw out chocolate bars every time. And so 14 divided by 8, right? And so this number should always go into it because guess what? Our numerator is always smaller than our denominator is always smaller than our numerator, and that's what makes it an improper fraction. And so when we take 8 and go into 14, we could do that one time, subtract 8, and we end up with 6. And so our remainder is 6, so 6 out of 8. And that's our final answer. 1 and 6/8. Alright. I'll do one last one. 40 divided by 11. How many times does 11 go into 40? 3 minus 33 gets you 7. So 7 remainder is 7 out of 11. So the answer is 3. Make that 3 a little bit bigger so you could tell that's a whole number. And 7/11. Okay. I am going to ask you Oh, wait, let me just check. 1 and 6/8, is that on here? 1 and 6/8. Just double checking. I don't see 1 and 6/8. So I'm pretty sure I want you to reduce. And so this equals 1 and 3/4. So I'm sure that's in here now. 1 and 3/4 is right here. Okay. So please reduce your fractions. And so you have plenty to practice with here. All right. The next section is going to focus on taking mixed numbers and making them into improper fractions. And so here, this is saying that we have 2 full chocolate bars. And then in the third one, we have 2/3 left. So we need to break this into thirds, right? And we already have 2 wholes, so I'm going to ignore that for now, just for right now. We'll come back to that. But here we have 1, 2 more out of the 3. And so if I were to count this, I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so I'd have a total of 8 out of 3. Okay. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the whole number and we're multiplying it by the denominator. And so that's how we get the first 6, right? And that's where we multiply these two. 6, and then we're going to add the 2. Let's go ahead and delete that. And so, I mean, you could see that we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the 2 is right here. 2 whole chocolate bars and then 2/3, right? And so we have 2 whole chocolate bars and 2/3. That gets us a total of 8 chocolate bars, or pieces, right? When they're broken into 3. So 8/3. Now mathematically, what are we doing? We are going to be multiplying the numerator with the whole number, denominator with the whole number, and then we're going to add the 2. Add the numerator, okay? And so let's go ahead and do that again. We're going to multiply 8 times 2 is 16, right? So that gets us 2 whole chocolate bars, which is going to be 8 pieces, right? I'm just drawing lines, but say that there's 8 here and 8 here. So it gets us 16, and then we have to break this last one up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. So there's 3 of these. So 16 plus 3 plus the 3 gets us 19 out of 8. And so we're multiplying the whole number by the denominator, and then we're going to add the 11. Okay, so 24 times 2 is 44. 44, so here we could say there's 24 here. Lots of little lines. You could just assume I'm going to have 24. 24 again. And then I'm going to have 11 out of the 24. So if I add these 3 together, I get 24 times 2, which is 44, plus 11 is 55. No? 48. 59 out of 24. Is it 54 out of 24? No, 59 out of 24. Okay? And so that's how you convert mixed numbers and improper fractions. And really close to the camera. All right, and then the second part of the assignment is going to be plotting points on a coordinate plane. So we talked about this. We have an x and y value. X comes first. So I'm going to plot this point and then draw a line to this next point. I'll show you what that means in just a second. So let's start here for 8. And we'll go ahead and go on here. Ooh, first thing I need to do is label my x and y axis. And then I need to scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go ahead and finish scaling. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and go ahead and add all the numbers you need. Okay, -1, -2. I'm not going to go through all that. Okay. Once you finish scaling, I'm going to plot 4, 6, which is here 4, and then go up 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be my first point. Use purple. I'll use pink. Okay. So we know that this is 4 on the x-axis, 6 on the y-axis. That's where we plot our point. Okay. Next point is at 6, 6. So I'm going to go over to 6 on the x-axis, 6 on the y-axis. That's right here. And I'm going to draw a line from the first one to the second one. And so that's what I mean by I'm going to draw a line from the first one to the second one. The next point is at 6, 7. 6, 7 is up one more. And notice that I'm not drawing a line from the first one to the third dot. I'm going from the first one to the second one to the third one. Just to make it clear, this is the first one, second one, third one. Where do I get those points? From shape 1, first one, second one, third one. And then 4, 7 is my next. So 4, 7 is right here. I'll draw that line. This is the fourth point. And then it says to stop. And so not going to really do anything from there. That's done. And so that's where I get these numbers from. And I'm done with that line, that set of lines. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one, next shape. And it should come, when you're done, it should look like a specific character. Okay. Just to be clear, so when I start shape 2, -3, 7, right? -3, 7 is right here. -3, 7. Okay. And so I'm not going to connect whatever I did in pink with this second shape, which I'll do in green. And at the end, you can make all the colors the same, but these should all be separate lines going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Okay? All right. Good luck.